Hi everyone, let's get started. The image of an early childhood teacher is currently represented as a babysitter, caretaker, and giver of knowledge. However, there does exist a more profound and underdeveloped image. This image calls forth a trustworthy, knowledgeable, child development expert, one who is a facilitator, listener, and observer, and guide of the child's own learning experiences. In agreement with Parnell, the image of the teacher should be of one who leads but not controls, is passionate about early childhood education, and is a positive role model to children. So now that we have an understanding of the image of the teacher, let's connect this to the role of an early childhood advocate and activist and how the image of the teacher influences our actions and behaviours. To begin, what is advocacy? Advocacy is an activity by an individual or group that thinks, speaks, and learns about a political, economic, or social issue and aims to influence decisions around these. Examples include politicians, lawyers, and us as early childhood educators. Okay, so if that's what advocacy is, what is activism? Activism refers to the use of direct action to achieve an end for or against an issue. An example could be someone who campaigns for social change, a teacher who goes on strike to campaign for an improvement in school resources, or again, us as early childhood educators. I found this wonderful quote by Sherma, 2019, and it reads, "I raise up my voice, not so I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard." The terms advocacy and activism are sometimes used interchangeably. As Waniganiaki et al. Suggest, in the early childhood context, both advocacy and activism are actions that intentionally seek to influence outcomes that are in the best interest of children, families and educators, and promote children's rights and social justice. With the current image of the teacher as instilled in many minds, it is our right and responsibility as early childhood educators to reshape the way people perceive us and move towards that of one of child's greatest role models and influences in their childhood, thus tying in to my image of the teacher. Through many different strategies, we can aim to enhance the lives of children and their families through advocacy and activism. As suggested in Ebeck and Waniganiaki, we can speak out on behalf of children, do something to improve the life of a family beyond the classroom, hold public officials accountable for making children's well-being and learning a national commitment, encourage organisations to make commitments to children and their families, and lastly, urge others to become children's champions. As we move towards improving the image of the teacher, we should also aim to utilise the Code of Ethics to influence our actions and behaviours. The Code of Ethics is a framework for reflection about the ethical responsibilities of childhood professionals who work with or on behalf of children and their families. The Code of Ethics looks at ways that we can advocate for children in relation to the profession and to the community in society. We can do this by advocating for the provision of quality education and care, use research and practice-based evidence to advocate for a society where all children have access to quality education and care, and advocate for the development and implementation of laws and policies that promote the rights and best interest of children and families. Additionally, we could use United Nations Children's Emergency Fund to influence our actions and behaviours. UNICEF is responsible for providing humanitarian and developmental aid to children worldwide. Therefore, it is through their Convention on the Rights of the Child that we remember that all children have the right to an education, as well as that education should develop each child's personality and talents to the full. Thus, as early childhood educators, we have a duty of care to children to ensure that we shape the path for children's learning and development by ensuring we know our own rights and those of the children to ultimately give children optimal education and learning through leadership, passion, and role modelling. Here are my references. Thanks for watching.